All right, welcome back to the False Light Podcast, from red pills to real truth. So let me just start with this. I keep hearing people talk about the system. You know what I mean. The deep state, the cabal, the global elites. And I get it. A lot of that stuff is real. There really are shadowy networks pulling strings behind the scenes. But what I've been noticing lately is that the narrative is shifting. It's not just about waking up to corruption anymore. It's about where that awakening is being guided. And I'm telling you right now, it's being guided somewhere dangerous. If you stick with me through this episode, I think you'll start to see how this whole setup, this global unraveling, isn't random at all. It's actually setting the stage for the world to do exactly what the Bible said it would do. Turn on Israel, blame the Jews, and unite against Jerusalem. Let's break this down. When people say the system, what do they mean? Usually it's stuff like the World Economic Forum, central banks, global media, the pharmaceutical industry, secret societies, intelligence agencies, all working together to control and manipulate. And honestly, a lot of that isn't even a theory anymore. It's documented. But here's what I'm seeing. A ton of people are waking up to the evil in this world, only to get swept into another deception on the other side. It's like exposing the dark side of the globalist agenda is just step one, because step two is where they start pointing fingers. And what I mean is, you don't just wake up to evil. You start looking for who's behind it. And that's where the trap is being laid. Revelation 17:17 says, "For God has put it into their hearts to carry out his purpose by being of one mind and handing over their royal power to the beast until the words of God are fulfilled." That verse is so important because it tells us this isn't just random chaos. God is letting the nations unite. He's giving them over to something that looks like order, justice, and freedom, but it's actually the final stage before judgment. So, yeah, there's a system, but it's not just corrupt. It's strategic, and it's moving in the exact direction prophecy said it would. Now, here's where it gets real. Have you noticed that all the conspiracy trails, from media manipulation to banking to Hollywood to pharma, they're all starting to get traced back to one group? Jews, Israel, Zionist, Talmudist, the Rothschilds. It doesn't matter what term they use, it's all pointing in the same direction. Now look, I'm not saying Israel is innocent. The Bible is very clear that much of Israel has turned from God, but that's not the point. The point is the world is being conditioned to hate them, to see them as the reason for everything evil, and eventually to justify uniting against them. Psalms 83 lays this out perfectly. "Come," they say, "let us wipe them out as a nation. Let the name of Israel be remembered no more." This has happened before, but it's going to happen again on a global scale. Zechariah chapter 12, verses 2 through 3 says, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of staggering to all the surrounding peoples. On that day I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all the peoples. All who lift it will surely hurt themselves." So, what does that mean? It means the entire world is going to be drunk with rage and confusion over Israel, trying to figure out how to deal with her, trying to lift the stone and solve the problem. But they don't realize God's the one who put that stone there. So when you see people waking up to the system and then start saying, "Oh, it's the Jews behind this," or "It's the Zionists that created the New World Order," you need to recognize that's part of the setup. They're playing right into a plan they don't even see. Let me say this real quick. I believe the Great Awakening is part of the false light. It's waking people up, but only to redirect them into something worse. It says, yeah, the elites are evil. Yeah, the system is corrupt. Or, yeah, we've been lied to. But then it turns around and says, let's rise up. Let's create a new system, a system of unity, peace, and spiritual light. That's not from God. That's the beast wearing a mask of righteousness. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16 says something wild. And then the 10 horns that you saw, they and the beast will hate the prostitute. They will make her desolate and naked and devour her flesh and burn her up with fire. You know what that means? The beast turns on the harlot, the global system, what we might call the deep state, or the UN, or World Economic Forum, and all the corrupt empires of this world gets judged. But then the beast rises up in her place, and everybody cheers because they think the bad guys are finally being taken down. They don't realize they're just switching teams from one deception to another. And this new system, it's going to look good. It's going to preach light. It's going to promise peace and unity, but it's going to come with a price. You've got to stand against the old enemy, and that enemy will be Israel. Jesus said in John chapter 5, verse 43, I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another comes in his own name, you will receive him. That's what's coming. A false light, a false unity, a false savior. So let me just leave you with this. I'm not here to defend the political state of Israel. I'm not saying everything they do is godly or right. But what I am saying is that when the whole world starts pointing fingers in the same direction, when Muslims, atheists, truthers, and Christians all start saying, it's the Jews behind everything, you better pause. Because that's when prophecy is unfolding. God said he would bring Israel through fire. He said he would refine them. He said 2/3 would fall and 1/3 would remain. That's found in Zechariah chapter 13. But he also said he would restore them. And he said the nations that attack her, he will judge them. So if you've been caught up in the Great Awakening, if you've been seeing the evil in the world and wondering what it all means, don't fall for the next trap. Don't fall for the false light. Stay grounded in the Word. Test everything. And remember that the real Messiah doesn't come with peace treaties and interfaith unity. He comes with truth, with judgment, and with redemption for those who are watching. All right, that's it for now. If this made something click or challenge the way you've been thinking, click the like button, comment, or share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for being here with me, and I'll catch you next time.